Hello all. So a few weeks ago now, I don't even remember how many, I said I was going to do a series of videos about how the UN and specifically the UNRWA treats Palestinians in ways that are really bad for the actual Palestinian Arab people. Um, I'm sorry it's been so long. My second job, I'm a manager in a warehouse, and we've just been doing our annual audit, so I've just been really out of it. Um, so a lot of people seem not to know this, but the UNRWA is very different from any other UN aid agency. They're the only refugee aid agency that is not under the authority of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. They are the only UN refugee aid agency that is devoted specifically to a single group of people. Now, a really good question to ask is how many Palestinian Arab refugees are there? Well, if you go by the standards of the UN High Commissioner, approximately 20,000. That is approximately 20,000 people who are still alive now, who were forced from their homes in what is now Israel because of the ongoing wars between Israel and the Arabs around it. But the UNRWA has very different standards. According to the UNRWA, there are over 5 million Palestinian Arab refugees. How do they get that number? Well, I'm going to go back a little bit in history. Please bear with me. In the late 1940s, State of Israel was declared. There was a civil war in the British Mandated Palestine between Jews and Arabs. Jews came out on top. And then the Arab countries around Israel invaded. Excuse me. Egypt invaded and annexed the Gaza Strip. The Kingdom of Transjordan invaded and annexed the provinces of Judea and Samaria. It became known as the West Bank territories. And the Kingdom of Transjordan became the Kingdom of Jordan because it ruled both sides of the Jordan River. Now, approximately 50,000 Palestinian Arabs fled from the new state of Israel into the West Bank territories of Jordan. And those people, and a much smaller number of people who went to Gaza and also Syria and Lebanon, were the first Palestinian Arab refugees. Except by UN standards, they were not. Because they moved from within the borders of the British Mandated Palestine to another place within the borders of the British Mandated Palestine. Not only that, they also got Jordanian citizenship. And yet, they're still counted as refugees. Why is that? Well, the UNRWA, as its policies modeled, consciously or not, on the policies set by the Arab League, who met specifically to discuss the issue of what to do with the Palestinian Arab refugees. And they made a conscious decision. I believe you actually find the minutes of the actual meetings where this decision was made. They made the conscious decision not to integrate Palestinian Arabs into the countries they had gone to. So much for Arab unity. They made the conscious decision to keep those people locked in camps, literally locked, guarded, and keep them as refugees. Now, I don't know to what extent that was practiced in the Kingdom of Jordan, because those people were genuinely given Jordanian citizenship. But in Lebanon, Syria, to a lesser extent Egypt and the Gaza Strip, those people were in fact locked in camps. And they're still there. Their descendants are still there. Now, The purpose of every other UN agency that deals with refugees is to help people to stop being refugees, to get people out of camps, to get them citizenship in the countries they're born in, to be able to get jobs and businesses and civil rights, to be able to vote, to stand for elections. These are really important. It's really important that people get those things, except for Palestinian Arabs. Not important for them. They don't get that. Why? I don't know. I can't think of any good reason for that. I can only think of really bad reasons for that, having to do with hatred of Israel and actually not caring about Palestinian Arabs and wanting to use them as weapons against Israel. Fomenting terror. Which, if you look at the curricula in UN schools, well, that theory makes a fair bit of sense. Now, at this point, cannot be understated or overstated. Weird. Anyway, language is weird. That the United Nations Aid Agency, which is not subject to the United Nations High Commissioner, incidentally, which is not subject to the standards held by literally every other UN aid agency on Earth. For some reason, it is held to be very important that Palestinian Arab refugees and their descendants be denied rights, be kept literally locked in camps, that they be kept refugees. Palestinian Arabs are literally the only people on Earth who are, by law, enforced by the United Nations, prevented from stop being refugees. And their descendants, and their children, and their children's children. Okay, at this point, there are families that for 3, 4, 5 generations have been kept locked in these camps without rights, without jobs, without any hope for advancement in life. Now, that's kind of horrifying. That's really terrible. Now, how many people are we actually talking about here? I said before, now, 5 million. Okay. I mentioned before about 55,000 people. Did I say that? I think I said that. I'm sorry. I missed something. The 6-Day War. Right, so the 6-Day War. Israel was attacked by Jordan and Egypt and Syria. Israel counterattacked, captured a very large amount of territory. And a much larger number of Palestinian Arabs fled from Israel into the various Arab countries around Israel. That number was about 550,000. Today, 5 million. So, unless the mission of the UNRWA is to increase the number of refugees, then they really, really suck at their job. Now, is that actually their job? Well, if it's not their job, then why are they not, helping people get out of those camps? Because they're not. Now, I admit that I am a very ignorant man about a lot of things. And it is entirely possible that there is some large UNRWA project to take Palestinian Arabs out of camps and get them somewhere else where they can actually have civil rights. And if you know about such a thing, please comment below and tell me. But as far as I know, there's no such thing. As far as I know, the entire mission of the UNRWA, everything they do, is based around keeping people in camps. Keeping people locked in camps, unable to get out, unable to immigrate, gain citizenship, to keep people as refugees, and increase and keep their children as refugees. You know, I say again, I'm ignorant about a lot of things. There's a lot I don't know. I'm not a journalist or a politician. I'm just a lumper. So if you know better, let me know. Educate me. I want to know more. I don't actually want to live in a world where people get treated like that. So if you are able to show me that I, in fact, live in a world where these people are not being treated like that, I would be very happy. I would be delighted to learn that. Somehow, I don't think that will happen. But feel free to prove me wrong. In any case, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and have a conversation with me, debate me, talk with me about this. This is an important issue, and it is genuinely worth thinking about and talking about and having a genuine dialogue. I say again, thanks for watching, and have a good day.